Usually Rexy like lashes onto a Zerg player. So it looks like Rexy went for Rogue, not for Shin. And I think LiuLi is covering Bjorn, I believe. But regardless, here we go. We're jumping into our series and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player with the red Zerg. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as this is a rematch. Clem and Shin, they have a little bit of history with each other, and Clem has been vocal about his struggles in this matchup, specifically against Shin's style. We spoke about this earlier, but Shin, he showcased this more. Oh, it looks like we're doing it again. Yeah, hatch pool delayed gases. Looks like Shin is going for a gases opener. Meanwhile, Clem is going to Rax Reaper. Interesting dynamic. I do actually favor Clem in this dynamic, but we'll see. We'll get into it. Very quickly, Clem, he was interviewed afterwards, and he did express how he was having a really hard time against Shin. Shin, he showcased these gases openers going into Roaches, Roach into Ultra, against Clem at DreamHack Dallas. If you recall, it was the same style that we just saw Shin play against Gabe, which he did defeat him in, and he did kind of shift the meta a little bit. Now we have a rise in popularity from players like Cyril, Solar, and Raynor also going for the same style, and Clem has been having a bit of a harder time against it. It also is a little bit map dependent. On larger maps where Clem can maybe take up a little bit faster, he has been going for faster ghost production, but we'll get into it when we get there, because first things first, 2x Reaper. 2x Reaper out of Clem, and remember, the gases were delayed here, so late link speed out of Shin, which means these Reapers, there's going to be an extended period of time where they can have map control. So here we go. Reapers are moving out. Shin does confirm, does scout. And Shin should be stuck on 2 bases. He should not be able to expand. And unlike against Gabe, Shin, he does not have the option to go for a Bane Bust. So no Bane Bust here out of Shin. Yep, he's making another set of Queens, so he's not expanding. Clem confirms, no expansion. He does confirm no hatchery. He's just double checking. With that, he will contain. See, is it going to be mech again? Clem, he mainly plays mech. When I say mainly, he exclusively plays mech against Protoss. Against Zerg, Clem, he has dabbled in mech, but I would not say it's a sure thing. He still plays bio against Zerg. In a best of 5, we could see Clem go mech once, but I expect bio out of Clem more so than not. And we're going for a 3rd Rax. 3 CC, 3 Rax. Okay. Clem pulling up Yan. Let's go. So 3 CC, 3 Rax follow-up here out of Clem. He does invest into a 4th Reaper. And can he get any of the Queens? Oof. Defeats on the way. So far, nice reactions here by Shin. Nice rotation. The lair is on the way. Remember, he's skipping link speed. He's skipping link speed, going into the lair, going into Roaches. Remember, this was a gasless opener or a late gas opener into Roach play, into ideally Infestation Bit, into Hive Tech, into Ultras. I'm calling it a little bit early, but that's kind of like the trajectory that Shin is working towards. We'll see if he cuts workers early. This is the other scary thing about Shin's style, is that if he wants to, he could cut workers early and commit into a Roach all-in on 3 bases. That's another option he can go for. Meanwhile, Stim is on the way. As a reminder, with this build of Clem, he delayed the factory and he delayed the starport in favor of not just a 3rd CC, but in favor of a 3rd Rax as well. So it does mean that Clem's move out is going to be much later, if he wants to wait for Metavax. So it's going to be a delayed push out of Clem, but when it does move out, it's going to hit quite hard. It's going to be up to Shin to drone up as best he can, but remember, he has a late 3rd base from Shin, so his economy is stifled. It's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold for a Zerg player, but we'll see if he can get there. As Shin, he has 7 Roaches on the way. I believe these are just safety Roaches out of Shin. It's getting quite a lot though. It's going to get up to 13. So 13 roaches. That's quite a lot of defensive roaches. From here, he's droning. I'm concerned that he's maybe invested too heavily into roaches. Like, he needs to drone up as much as he can while he can before the medivacs arrive. Because here come the medivacs. They're coming. And with those medivacs comes the main push. There's the infestation bit. Again, this should be for safety infestors, then getting into the hive. SHIN, he's getting there, but again, it's not going to be easy. SHIN, he has to drone. He has to saturate while he can. But again, the droning is delayed. And the medivacs, here they come. Medivacs are out. Which means Clem can stim. And if he moves out now, he will hit with combat shields as well. It's almost done. Here come the safety infestors. SHIN holds. Yeah, SHIN, he holds. The infestors, they will come out in time for the push. So if there was a window, it's come and gone at this point. So from here, SHIN can take a 4th base, fully saturate, and now work towards hive. So my apologies. I assumed that with Stim and with the medivacs we were going to be going, but no, Clem is being a little more passive here. Being a little more passive, which again means that SHIN, he can reach his final form, or he can work towards it. Oh, range upgrade. Hello. That wasn't here last time. So with this range upgrade, now suddenly, we spoke at the start of this game, if you remember, how SHIN, he has an option to go for a roach base play instead, or for 3 bases. With range upgrade, I'm leaning more towards that here, where it looks like he's committing harder into Roach Ravager. But the hive is still on the way. The range upgrade is going to delay the melee upgrades here, which means the Ultra Switch is going to be a little bit weaker. But it also means that he can stay on Roach Ravager a little bit longer. So there's a give and take here. You could argue that this is just safer play from SHIN. Oh, he's not skipping the Baneliness either. Okay, so he's going Lingbane Roach Ravager. So Lingbane Roach Ravager out of SHIN. Again, remember, against Gabe, he skipped range and he also skipped Banelings as well. So SHIN is cutting less corners. Even though, because Clem is getting a 4 CC and because it's been so passive back at home, I feel like SHIN could have cut corners. He could have cut corners and been more greedy here. Of course, he doesn't know that.
You're engaging the opponent.
God, every time.
To raise your APM.
Every time, SHIN. I just want to look at your POV. God damn it. Every time. Este SHIN. Okay, here comes that Ultra Cavern. Once again, as we were mentioning, this Ultra Switch, I should say, is going to be a little bit more delayed compared to what we saw against Gabe because of the corners that we're not cutting right, because of the range upgrade, because of the Baneliness, because of the Baneling speed as well. But Clem is playing so carefully. Taking his 4th, only moving out with drop play. Drops are spotted. Army's in position, Lings, they get shut down. Nice defense here by Clem. And SHIN is hunting for the fungal. Doesn't quite get it. Ultra production has begun. Clem is pushing. Both armies are max. But the Ultras, they take time. And Clem doesn't quite commit. Which means SHIN, he will be able to make the Ultras. The Ultras will pop out. Clem, he does rotate to the left. Appreciate this movement. Purely Lings are not going to cut it. Yeah, Clem, he breaks through. He breaks through the left-hand side at the same time, pushing on the right. Roach Ravager's going to be falling. The Ultras, they're still on the way. And bases will fall. And Ultras now being revealed. And remember, one of the big downsides of this army from SHIN, no anti-air. Remember, there's no Vipers, there's no Hydras, no Spire, no Mutas, no Corruptors. So with a good enough control, Clem can just pick up. You can just pick up and keep dropping. We can just keep on dropping. Ooh, within range of the Spore though. Okay. True, I forgot about the spores. Spore does kill one of the Metamax. Fungal does graze the army. Nice target firing at a Clem. He does focus on the infestors. But the Fungal still lands. Yeah, brutal Fungal. The Ultras, they collapse in. As Clem, he has to stim away. More Ultras collapsing in the army. So Fire Kite's well. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3 Ultras. If there was a Fungal here, that would change everything, but there's no Fungal. Oh, and SHIN, he's overextending, rushing into a wall of Marauders. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, big overextension for SHIN. He lost all the Ultras. Feels Ultra Speed, man. Ultra Speed, just still not quite done. And Clem, now is the time. Now is the time to push. Ultra Speed just finished. After all the Ultras went down. Not like this, baby. Not like this. And that was quite expensive. Again, that was an expensive loss for SHIN, losing 8 Ultras. And SHIN is stuck at home. Does land a Fungal. But no follow-up. Oh, brutal loss there. Infestor goes down. That was a high energy Infestor as well. Oh no, the miss rally. Oh, throws away another Infestor. Yeah, miss rally at a SHIN. And Clem, he can just stim and win at this point. Like, there's nothing to stop him. He just push on forward. There's what? There's no Fungals. There's 2 Ultras, a handful of Banelings. We do have an attempted flank. But again, the army just isn't there for SHIN. He's being outscaled. He had a big power spike earlier, but he lost that lead. He lost that army. And he can't quite recover from that. As we're down to 0 Ultras. Final Ultra goes down. Base is broken. GG gets called. And Clem, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Clem, very careful play is what I will say out of Clem. He, despite, I would say, having some opportunities to be more active, he was playing very carefully. I think partly just because of maybe some of the history between Clem and SHIN, and maybe having some bad recollections and bad experiences when it comes to being overly aggressive against SHIN. So just really careful play there from Clem, being able to go for a bit of a slower early to mid game. I will say because of that, SHIN did miss opportunities. He did miss opportunities where he could have been greedier, where he could have cut more corners against Clem, but he blindly wasn't aware of that, right? He was setting up. He was instead trying to play safe, which set him behind, and it did kind of delay things. It did delay his Ultras, did delay his upgrades as well, which did factor in, did delay his economy. As he was kind of playing safe when he didn't need to. And with that, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, Clem, it did overwhelm. And now we're getting into game number 2. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Game 2 is going to be on torches. Now, we spoke about some of the advantages and disadvantages of torches earlier in the Hero Marine series. I can see SHIN going for the same thing here as well. Going for this gasless opener into this roach start, in towards Hive Tech. It can work quite well here, but Clem knows this. He knows this, he's aware of this, he's experienced in this kind of situation. I would expect Clem to be hyper aggressive to stop SHIN from actually getting into that Hive Tech and getting into that kind of like licking composition. So we'll see. We shall see. I'm very curious to see how Clem will approach SHIN on this map. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of torches, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is SHIN. We go. Go, as we do have our initial opener here. And we'll see if SHIN once again goes for a spawning pool before his gas geyser. It's what we're expecting, but do we go for the same style 2 games in a row? Oh, the answer is no. We are going hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of SHIN. Okay. Okay. You have my attention. You have my attention here. So SHIN, he does switch gears. He does switch gears. Going for a standard start, which means there's a higher chance we're going to be going into Ling Bane. Let's go. Meanwhile, Clem going for a Rax expand. Standard open out of Clem. Our opener. And we did pull out of gas. So Link Speed is on the way, pulls out of gas as well. So this is a stock standard opener out of SHIN. Opening up Ling Bane. Technically, this can still lead into Roach play in the mid game, but this is just a much more standard start, which means there are more options available. We could go into Roaches. We could also go into Ling Bane. Just straight up Ling Bane into Ling Bane Hive, into Ling Bane Ultra, or Ling Bane into Hydra, of course. Muta play would be crazy. It's a little more unorthodox in the current meta. SHIN does claim his third, and we do have a third CC before Starport for Clem. Economic opener, economic build. We go. So from here we're settling in.
Command center upgrade complete.
From here we can go into the adult. Wait, what? Hold on. This is not normal. So we have a third CC before Starport, but we leave the reactor on the tech lab. Sorry, tech lab. We leave the reactor on the racks and we make a tech lab on the factory instead. So no Hellion production. No Hellions whatsoever. I guess it makes sense just because of the map. It's harder to get Hellion harass done at the natural. But yeah, this is not what I'm used to seeing. Because the marine count is going to be higher than normal. So we're going to have a higher marine count. We have a second Rax on the way. This is a more unique variation of 111. Interesting. Which I'm pretty sure is just specifically because of the map itself, because we are on torches. And because Hellions do have a hard time finding damage. Okay. It does mean that the stim timing and the potential 7-minute push should hit harder as well because of the higher marine count. I mean, I say hit harder. At the same time, it also means that there won't be any Hellions or Hellbats to help support the tank push. That is going to be the downside. As the Roach Warren is done, we have a 440 lair here on the way. So relatively standard lair first build here by SHIN. And he does have access to safety roaches. Reactor on the factory. Interesting. CC's floating over. Double Evo chamber out of SHIN. Prioritizing those upgrades. We're looking to see if we're going to go into range upgrades. If so, then this could just be straight up Roach Ravager. Just Roach Ravager Ling Bane. The fact that it's double Evo chamber also tells us that most likely we're not rushing into infestation pits. Yep, there we go. Range upgrades on the way. So we're committing quite hard into Roach Ravager. Go. Tank production has begun. We spoke about that 7-minute push, and again, that's typically what we work towards. We're getting there in a bit of a different way. Safety infestation bit, that should be for safety infestors. So players are still building up. Clem setting up for the push. Does leave his tanks behind, just moving out with a double drop. Oh. So far it's deflected. As we're getting to range upgrades, oh, we're not doubling down on Roach Ravager. We are taking up into Hydra. Hydra's alongside the Hive into Hydra Lurker play. Okay, let's go. So SHIN rushing into Lurkers. It's all coming together. Now the range upgrades make more sense as it leads into Lunkers. That being active won't get too much done. But does clear up a lot of creep. Doesn't lose anything. Doesn't lose anything. Back at home, he's just turtling up. He's not moving out. He's only moving out with drops. Building up his bio, building up his tanks, getting into 2-2 upgrades. And is clearing up a lot of creep. We'll lose 1 Marine. Oh. His branches are caught out. Brutal losses. Losing 1 so far. But Clem at least does scout the Hydras. He knows. He's aware of the Hydras. The factory isn't set up for more tank production. It's stuck with mines for the time being. Getting into his Ghost Academy, 4th base on the way, still very tense. But the Lurkers aren't ready. Yeah, we have 4 Lurkers for SHIN. They're now moving in. Lurkers are late rotation out of the Zerg player. And he does kite well. Kites away from the Lurkers. Does kite back, out of range. Remember, range upgrade is not done for Lurkers. There's a scan. And there's barely any support for SHIN. SHIN is down to a handful of Hydras. The base is going to fall. And honestly, Clem might even just break this position. That's dropping into the main. Picks up, drops into the main base. There are some units ready. And SHIN will hold. Hold on. Ooh, the medevacs are trapped. Uh-oh. Oh, does miss out. We'll lose 1. Oh my god. Barely only 1. 1 medevac falls. But again, that was a nice trade. Like Clem, he did trade well here. You can see 15 roaches, 5 hydras, the expansion, 9 drones. For mainly marine and a handful of marauders. So a very efficient trade. The downside, though, is the lurker count was left alone. I feel like the opportunity to snipe those 4 lurkers, but SHIN saved them, and now he's building up more. Building up more lunkers. Clem is rotating. Clem is rotating over. His ghosts are ready. How many lurkers? 11 lurkers so far. But the snipe's gonna be brutal. Oh, he gets 3. He's gonna get everything. Yeah, he's gonna catch every single lurker. The snipes pop off. Ghost say shut SHIN down. And he's going for it. He can't just keep going. He's pushing into the mineral line. Forcing a response. Lurkers, they do keep up. Massive lurker shots going off on the Marines. A lot of Marines go down, but down goes the mineral line. 12 drone kills and another expansion. Clem pushing in. Catching out the attempted Jobber Lords. Oh, and then back at home, there are no banelings, only purely Ling. Hydra's they can struggle here as well. Catching a queen. And SHIN is being pulled apart. Does save his 4th base at least, but he's stuck on 4 bases, and an even base count with the Terran. I should say he's down a base as Clem is taking a 5th. And SHIN is falling behind. He's just falling further behind here. Now the 5 lurkers does at least catch a tank. He needs bases, he needs an economy. As SHIN is broke. Like SHIN, he just doesn't have a bank. Having a hard time maxing out. Just now getting into banelings. Oh, not again. Snipes to get one more. One more lurker, fighting out of range of lurkers as well. Here come the snipes. And the lurkers, they get reset. Do you have another wave? Another wave coming in. Oh god. But the Roach Hydra gets shut down. More snipes popping up. Thankfully the scan runs out. So SHIN, he's surviving. Trying to survive. But here come the snipes. Yeah, I love the spread here from the Ghosts, and they will snipe everything. The lurkers, the Roach Hydra. Oh. Clem does move command into the army though, as the scan ran out. So again, scans are hindering Clem more than anything. There it is. There's another scan. Ghost coming in from behind. And there's one lurker remaining. Just the one, and it goes down. That was the final lurker, and with that SHIN, he has nothing to defend. He has a couple of reinforcements trickling in. GG gets called, and Clem will overwhelm. Clem will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem does claim the series. SHIN having an interesting approach here on torches. As a reminder, I was surprised to see that SHIN didn't go gasless on torches, but I'm pretty sure it's only because he didn't go gasless in game 1 either. So, because he didn't go gases in game 1, he didn't want to go for the same style, didn't want to go for the same build, opted to go for lurkers instead. Unfortunately, had a hard time defending against the fringe bases. A big reason for this, of course, is how small the map is. Torches has a shorter rush distance by ground, so the aggression from Clem proved to be a little bit too much, as he was knocking down base after base, mineral lines as well, and SHIN could not maintain his economy, so he couldn't afford to keep up with the trades that Clem was having. GG. GG, well played. A really solid active style out of Clem to punish some of the immobility of that army as well. To move in, to snipe bases, snipe expansions, get mineral lines. GG. GG, well played. I do think that SHIN had a better showing in game 1, but if you recall, at least my big criticism in game 1 was how safe SHIN was playing when he otherwise didn't need to be. But he didn't know either, right? He didn't know how passive and defensive Clem was being in game 1. So didn't necessarily wasn't necessarily aware of the opportunities there. With that, GG. With that, GG, well played. And I have to figure out what's going on. As Clem does claim the series, Clem does advance on to the semifinals, and Clem is waiting for a couple of players here. We'll see where we are. Okay. So I did miss out on the lobby, unfortunately, but we do have some matches ongoing here.